I'm your host, Locum23. You're joining me for Across the Void, Chapter 17, Fallout. Now playing as Pax, the explosion flings Holmes across the corridor, the blast completely consuming his lower body. Ah! Holmes! Flames spread up the walls and around your feet as you watch Holmes's body smash against the ceiling and tumble back down to the floor. And Holmes, put out the fire, scream for help, put out the fire. Leaping to the far side of the corridor, you yank a panel from the wall and burst open a pipe. Ah! Sending a stream of water forth to extinguish the flames. As the smoke clears, you see Admiral Demos kneeling beside Holmes. Quick thinking, putting out the fire. Now, get over here and help me carry him. Together, you and the Admiral lift Holmes up, holding your hands securely under his lower back, and feel the warm, wet blood soaking what's left of his pants. His legs! Let's focus on keeping him alive for now, then we can worry about that. The moment you arrive in the medbay, Meridian sprints over and lifts Holmes up. His small frame looks even more fragile than Meridian's large arms. He's losing blood fast. Someone get me that container float over there. As Meridian sets Holmes down inside a pod, leaving the door open as quickly as he attaches tubes and patches, you grab the cylinder and hand it to Meridian. Is he going to make it? I can't say anything definitive yet, but most of his legs missing. It's likely he's also suffered massive internal damage already elsewhere. But you've got to save him. He doesn't deserve this. He's kind and considerate. This can't be how it ends for him. With a pained expression, Meridian looks up at tears pouring down your cheeks. I'm doing all I can. After that, it's out of my control. As you let out a heart-wrenching sob, Admiral Demos pulls you over to her and out of Meridian's way. We don't know each other very well, Pax, but your brother has told me how strong you are. Whatever happens, you'll get through this, for yourself, but also for Holmes. How can I... You let out a gasp as Holmes' eyelids flash open. He lets out a strangled whimper as he tries to move. But can't I feel my legs? Turning his head, he looks at you, his bright green eyes filled with panic. You rush to his side. Pax, what's happening to me? I'm sorry, Holmes. There was an explosion. You got caught in it, and... No, that wasn't real. None of this is... As Holmes' breathing grows erratic, Meridian pulls you aside, speaking in a hushed tone to you and the Admiral. Having both of you here is making it very hard for me to do my job. It'd be best if you left. No way! I'm leaving him like this! I'll go, but I think it wise to have Pax here to assist you in calming him down. Meridian sighs and nods slowly. You may have a point. Pax, do you think you can comfort him and manage to stay out of the way? Wow, okay. Leave the medbay. Maybe it's better if you sedate him. I can't do much good here. Meridian nods and presses a button on the pod. You lay your hand atop Holmes's. This should help with the pain. Just try to rest. I won't go far. Pax, Holmes's eyes flutter closed as the sedative takes hold, and you force yourself to head towards the door to let him heal. Now playing as Nova, you race into the corridor with a dual hydrant, blasting any traces of fire and smoke. Why does my ship keep getting blown up? Atlas is too pretty to suffer! This must stop! Kepler appears behind you, sprinting down the corridor with a gun nearly the same size as her in her hands. I'm here, Cap. Point me to the direction of whoever did this, and I'll rack them full of holes. Kepler, lower that thing? I'm trying to put out a fire, not ignite it. As you stomp a small patch of flames to ashes, Kepler sets her gun down against the wall. The moment she looks back at you, her eyes widen. Your leg's on fire? Glancing down, you see that one of your shoes has red tendrils climbing up it. Scream, stop, drop, and roll, kick my shoe off. Fear gripping you, you shimmy out of your shoe and kick it across the corridor. The flame The flaming shoe hits the wall, then drops to the ground, still burning as it rolls back towards you. Watch out! Okay, use the hydrant. Jesus Christ, how hard is this? Your security officer jumps on top of your shoe. Oh, mother of God. Slamming her feet down until the fire is safely out. She grabs the charged shoe and hands it to you. With a grimace, you slide it back on. Well, at least it's still wearable. Thanks, but I'll probably toss these later. Once the immediate threat is gone, of a hot toe, Kepler surveys the damage to the corridor. I felt the bomb go off, but I haven't been briefed yet. Any fatalities? No, but Meridian sent me a comm saying that Holmes arrived in the med bay and things don't look good. Holmes? He's the least threatening being on this ship. I know. This attack makes no sense. Kepler narrows her eyes in anger and studies the area with renewed focus. Time to investigate and fillet the Jezefern dung heap that did this. Ah, you used dung heap too. We will. Your takedown mode is beyond attractive. I bet you can come out on top of anyone. Oh, that's my specialty. I don't give up until I got them begging. Brrr. Your techniques must be flawless. Kepler squats down and takes a closer look at the broken panel bursting with frayed wires. Looks like the bomb was placed here. It must have been motion activated. You bend down beside her and peek inside the panel. Maybe Holmes wasn't the target. He could have just been at the wrong place at the wrong time. Good thinking. You got a real knack for this. Something wasn't adding up with them going after Holmes. As she pulls one of the wires loose and sniffs it, your eyebrows raise in surprise. If you can get any info from that, you must be good at those. Have you led a lot of investigations? I'm more of a solo worker, but yeah, this is fairly common in the security business, to sniff wires. Chills with the wire so you can inspect it with her. You want to sniff? If you look closely here, you'll see a fine black powder. I see it. Is it the ashes from the explosion? More of a bomb fingerprint. Normally the smell helps track the manufacturer, but this one is odorless, which means it was handmade. I don't like the sound of that. The Atlas can't take another hit like this. If we have someone on board who can make these kinds of bombs... Oh, speaking of the condition of Atlas... Kepler pulls a tiny canister from her utility belt. Holding it up, she cocks a smile. Got these shiny beauties from your sis. She and Holmes developed them a while back to help repair the ship. You lean closer, your knee brushing Kepler's as you squint at the boss scuttling around inside the glass. They're called nanites. Of course they did. They're usually the ones blowing up the Atlas. Kepler lets out a hearty laugh as she opens the canister and releases the bots. As the bots produce a series of humming noises, V zooms closer and lets out a gasp. I understand the bots! They really love creating metal! It's all they talk about! Actually, I've been working on a little something that'll probably come in handy right about now. It's a cryo-atmos. Picked it up on Electra, and been repairing it since we left. What does it do? You hook it up to big ships, it detects high temperatures, anything that gives off a heat signature, like a bomb. Then it freezes the area before any damage can be done. That's not how bombs work. So, we could make sure the rest of Atlas was safe? Exactly, and while we install it, I could take a crack at raising your temperature, if you're interested. Hope there were bombs, except the one in my pants. I mean, what? I'm counting on not having the problem again in the future. Dealing with threats as they're thrown at you, that's one way of doing it, Cap. Kepler gives you an enthusiastic salute, then leaves you alone in the corridor to watch the bots repair the damage around you. They're called nanites. It's called nanites. For the love of Christ, do some research in the science fiction field. As you enter the med bay to check on Holmes, you nearly collide with Pax, who's lurking just outside the door. Nova! Pax. Of course you're involved in this. Can anything on the ship go wrong without you being there? Nova, I didn't do this, I swear! Behind Pax, you see Holmes lying in a pod, the majority of his legs missing. Meridian told me he'd been injured, but this is so much worse than I thought. Who would want to do this to Holmes? It makes no sense. Poor little Cotton Mellow! Pax stares tearfully at Holmes before turning back to you. It was the General, the one who took me to live with the Jura on Antiope. She's alive, and after Admiral Demos, I tried to stop her, but... Tears roll down her cheeks. I was too late. I couldn't protect him. Of course you're behind a conspiracy theory to kill people. I mean, what? The Jura did this? It's not your fault. I believe you, Pax. I know you'd never hurt anyone on the Atlas, but you have to be careful with who you trust. Don't let anyone use you. Pax throws her arms around you and sobs into your shoulder. I know. I didn't even ask why the General needed me to collect information. I was so stupid for thinking it was harmless, and now Holmes... Something nags at the edge of your mind. The bomb must have been planted for someone, by someone. Does that mean there's another Jura spy on board? Before Pax can respond, Meridian appears behind Pax and clears his throat. Nova, sorry to interrupt, but I need to speak with you. Of course. How's Holmes doing? I've managed to get his internal bleeding under control. He's going to make a full recovery, minus his legs. Normally the loss of limbs is much more severe, but as a Cygog, his legs can be replaced and functional within a matter of days. Before you said you weren't sure he'd make it, does this mean he's gonna be okay? Yeah, for now. He's resting as his other injuries heal. So can we get him out of here soon? Meridian's smile falters as he rinses his hands in the sink. Dealing with the loss of his legs will be extremely difficult. Recovering mentally will take much longer. He may reject his new legs and not feel as if they belong to him. Oh, Holmes. Your sister's eyes fill with tears. Pull yourself together, woman! She rushes back to Holmes' side. You turn to talk to Meridian in a hushed tone. This will be a lot for him to handle alone. Is there anything we can do to help him? Back when I was a combat medic, we would throw... Oh, excuse me. Shh, just be quiet. We would throw get-well parties to lift everyone's spirits. Most of the time it can help the recovery process more than medicine. Especially for someone like Holmes. He loves the crew more than anything. A party. Hard to imagine one in a barracks during war. Seems like a positive spin on a battle for a soldier. The best time to celebrate being alive is often after nearly dying. I guess you have a point there. Besides, most soldiers will enjoy any excuse to drink. The mind can't handle the hardship. We all learn to have fun while we can. Meridian leans in and whispers in your ear, his hot breath tickling your skin. I was hoping we could decorate together in the bar. Just you and me. It's been a while since we've had some time to ourselves. Your sister appears back at your side, dismissing Meridian's hushed suggestion. Did you say throw a party for Holmes? He's always talking about wanting to be closer to the crew. If he saw how much they cared about him... She looks at you with pleading eyes. Please, sis? Okay, so... We've just had someone try and blow up the ship, as well as Admiral Demos and Holmes. Yeah, let's throw a party in the middle of fucking war, and someone trying to blow up my ship. You know, what better way than to congregate everybody into a small room so they can do it more efficiently? Mother of Christ. Ooh. Whoever wrote this book really needs to watch Star Trek The Next Generation, or really any Star Trek film whatsoever. Please, for the love of Christ, do it. With the ship damaged and the threat still out there, I don't have time to throw a party. Right. Well, if you ever find yourself spread too thin, call me. I'm sure I'll think of a way to help. Meridian's eyes glitter playfully as he walks away, while Pax sighs and leaves the medbay. Later that day, you calm both of your siblings to arrange to meet in Pax's quarters. Stepping inside, you find Pax shoving a large bundle of clothes in a drawer, her hand shaking. Hey, I was just straightening up. Yeah, look at the floor. Look, it's really straightened up. Pax tries to nudge the drawer closed, but most of the contents still hang out. She smacks it angrily. The stupid thing won't shut. You gently take her hands in yours, pulling them away from the drawer. I know how close you are to Holmes, but he wouldn't want you to hurt yourself too. The door slides open and Eos steps inside. The moment he sees Pax's face, he rushes forward, wrapping her in a hug. I heard what happened, Pax. I'm so sorry. The little sister sniffles and nods mutely, looking small in Eos's embrace. He rubs her back comfortingly, looking over her head at you. Is that why you asked us to meet you here, Nova? Did you find anything about the bombing? Yes. But this needs to remain a civil conversation. No fighting or blaming each other. Pax sighs sadly. I'm not really in the arguing mood anyway. Take a deep breath, looking out at the stars for a moment before turning back to your siblings. First of all, Eos, you need to know that Admiral Demos is in danger. The attack today was an attempt on her life. Eos sighs and scrubs a hand down his face. Demos and I suspected as much. She ordered Zeke and me to conduct an investigation of everyone on the Alice. She's looking for a Jura spy. He glances down at Pax, who's staring at the ground. Before you two start accusing each other, Eos, you should know Pax didn't do this, but she knows who did. Your sister steps back from Eos and meets his gaze. It was the General. Eos sucks in a deep breath. No, it can't be. If the General's alive, everyone in the Alice may be at risk. The General wouldn't hurt me or anyone I care about. Really, how's Holmes? Like Holmes? Pure horror crosses Pax's face, and she sits down on her bed, looking small and fragile for a moment as she hugs her arms to her chest. I've always been so sure about her, about the Jura, and now... It's more than that. Vanguard lied about the Void. The Jura just blew up a member of my crew. The Void are the real threat. The Jura, the Vanguard, the war... We've let it tear us apart while the Void grows stronger. With a deep sigh, look at each other, each of your siblings in turn. There's something I've been wondering for a while now. If you had to choose between this war and each other, what would you do? Nova, you and Pax come before everything else. But it's not that simple. I took an oath. You can't ask me to make that choice. If I gave up my ideals, I'd be giving up who I am. You struggle to hide the emotion on your face. If that's how you feel, then one of you needs to get off my ship when we reach Cyber. I won't be responsible for you killing each other. Before they can respond, you turn on your heel and leave the room, hiding the tears in your eyes. I have no tears. It's a reasonable request. Once you're in the corridor, you lean against the wall, gasping for breath as your chest constricts. V hovers closely to you, making a calming buzzing noise. Oh, honey, they don't mean it. You're going to get through it, like always, together. Regaining control of your breathing, you stand up straight and shake your head. No, V. This time, I don't think we will. Yep. Initial status report. Allegiance, Jura. Atlas, good condition. Crew, high morale. Passengers, cheerful. It's not really unreasonable, and I think I would ask Pax to get off the ship. She has led to now 2 issues. I mean, let's be honest. Let's go over this real quick. She's been over 2 issues. She smuggled a Jura person onto the ship. She also caused this issue. She was investigating Admiral Demos. I mean, if anything, it's more than 2. I'm sorry. Get off the ship, Pax. I'm not going to ask Eos to get off the ship. He's done, if anything, he's protected the ship as best as he can, as well as protecting each individual of the ship. He has an oath, an obligation, a duty to serve, and to protect life. He hasn't specifically gone after anyone or done anything wrong. So, you know, again, this is where I suggest to anyone out there watching right now, if you have an Amazon Prime account, go watch Star Trek, please. I wholeheartedly encourage you. I promise you, first season will hook you. Because it brings up a lot of issues that we have even now. Oh man, even now, there's a lot of issues on Star Trek that was covered back then. We're talking 20 years ago. Star Trek The Next Generation covered even pointing fingers at people and falsely accusing. It covers race. It covers every single aspect humankind has ever had, and even some that we haven't even yet to come across. And I encourage you to sit down and just watch it. It's a fantastic thing that I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that no one at Pixelberry seems to have a concept, a grasp of science fiction whatsoever, especially in a space science fiction aspect. This is something that you couldn't turn to your colleagues or something while writing this and going, what would Picard do? What would Cisco do? What would Janeway do? What would Kirk do? Are you telling me that you can't honestly turn to anyone? I want challenge. I actually challenge people to reach out to Pixelberry. I challenge Pixelberry to cover this on their blog. I challenge the individual to make a Twitter post. I will have a civil discussion with you. I challenge whoever at Pixelberry is writing this thing. I challenge you to come out with a response, because this may be your specific individual dream of how science fiction and everything goes, but it's not a very realistic one at all. It really isn't. A luxury craft, no defensive weapons, no internal system scannings. This is like having. We have boats that go out on the ocean that have internal sensors. And you're telling me that you have a ship floating throughout the cosmos that has nothing whatsoever, but we can install these parts as we go for diamonds. You know, do you even know how a bomb works? Seriously, do you even know how? My God, and you can't tell me it's a thermal bomb either, because that's not how this works. It senses the bomb and it freezes the corridor, and then it diffuses. What? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this shit works. And that's even from a science fiction perspective. Like, I've never heard of that ever. And you can't sit there and go, well, now it's canon in the science fiction world. No, I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. Without further ado, I'm not going to use my usual outro. You know what to do. I just think this is silly. I think it really is silly as a person who is a massive sci-fi nerd and a massive sci-fi buff. It's just a bit silly. You're expecting me to believe this shit, and I'm sorry, I can't. So without further ado, thanks for watching. Hopefully I can catch you guys in a stream sometime or over on Twitch. Links down below. It's always fun to have you. You know, we do a lot of games right now. Final Fantasy IX, Borderlands 1, 2, and 3 when it comes out. We also do Apex Legends, where there's some other content on the horizon, and even some things that I'm planning on that no one knows of yet, and it's awesome, and it's gonna blow choices out of the water, actually. And I've been very hush hush, and even though I'm really wanting to snitch and say something, we have to be hush hush about this. Okay, it's a secret project I'm working on with some very big developers, and it's something that is gonna blow choices out of the water. So without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.